Alright, Shalom. Just coming back with another video. Hope this will be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Now, before I get started, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor to unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bahashem Rakahakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and that do teach well and have taught me His truth. Shalom to you, brothers that are out there pushing this truth and sincerity, not for vainglory. Kwame Ashala and blah blah blah. Alright, I just want to try and get to the point. I don't want to make this video too long, hopefully. This is just going to be more of a MLTV update, Cashless Society update, whatever you want to call it. It's going to go along those lines. I don't know what I'll title this. Now it says here, Cashless Society, big banks prepare to launch digital wallet to compete with Apple Pay and PayPal. Now, you know, this whole Revelation 13 and 16 on down, this whole MOTB system, cashless payments, cashless society, it's all a form of covetousness. And it's, you know, these elites, they're very avaricious, man. They're avaricious. You know, having or showing an extreme greed for wealth or material gain. And, you know, that's just another form of covetousness, man. I'm going to start off with 2 Timothy chapter 3 and 1. Difficult times will come. That's right. It will. That's why you should kiss the sun lest you be angry right now, man. The doors of probation are about to come to a close. Better be careful. Stop playing around. So anyways, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Yeah, perilous times, you know, savage times. So when you look up the word perilous, it's synonymous to savage, right? And you know, the last days are going to be savage. Love of many shall wax cold. People are going to become more cutthroat, cold-hearted. The standard of living is going up. You know, a lot of the weather isn't good. People don't feel good. People's rights are being taken away. The list goes on. All these plagues are going to befall upon the earth, or fall upon the earth, I mean. You have these plagues, the ICBM missiles, destruction, concentration camps. And you know what? You tribes, you're going to get caught up in all of this. You undesirables, right? 2/3 to be exact. You're going to get caught up in this. Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And obviously this all applies to our people first and foremost, but it can also be applied to you wicked elites, bankers, globalists, whatever, secret council of the wicked. That applies to you. You're all these things, man. Disobedient to parents, especially because you're disobedient to your maker, which is Yahweh Shai, right? He is your maker, and it's gotten to the point now where you're saying that, you know what, I'm not the child, I'm the parent now. I get to tell everybody what to do. I get to tell the Lord what to do. But I really want to just focus on covetous, man, because you know, they're very greedy. They have so much money. It's to the point now where they're showing that, like, I just want to say, man, it's not a bad thing to have a lot of money, because you can have a lot of money and not love it, right? But you can also have a lot of money, but it's to the point now where you're going to show inordinate affection towards that money. You know what I mean? And that's what this is doing. This is all inordinate affection towards money, right? And that's a problem. And it's to the point now where they like, don't get me wrong, they always had money, but it's to the point now where it's not about money anymore. They're using this as a way to be worshipped, you know. And that's what I mean by inordinate affection when it comes to money, because they're not using money the right way. they're using this to actually be worshipped and to be set on high above Yahweh Bashim Shai by having complete control over everybody by bringing forth this system, man. And that's fucked up. That is messed up. And this is why Yahweh Bashim Shai has to come back and get us out of here. Right? And that's why they want to put that C-hip into you. Because it's about complete control. It's no longer about money anymore. It's about complete control. Right? Got another precept. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And obviously that applies to our people. You know, they fall into riches and it causes them to lose their faith because they're thinking about using those riches and keeping those riches instead of serving Yahweh Bashim El Shai. And because they left Yahweh Bashim El Shai, they've fallen into sorrows. They've come into more grief. Right? But yeah, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Like I said earlier, you know, people may have money and yet not love it, but if they love it inordinately, it will push them to do all evil, man. Right? And that's what you're saying. That's what you're seeing, and that befell our people as well. They've become covetous, and it caused them to quit the faith. Right? So, hey, man, you know, this money is serious. It's very serious, and that's what you're seeing being done with this whole cashless system, man. So it says big banks prepare to launch digital wallet to compete with Apple Pay and PayPal. So it says major U.S. banks, including Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, and others, will push into the digital wallet space in the second half of this year to take on Apple Pay and PayPal. And, you know, they always make it seem like they're competing. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it compete, and you know what? That's all to work on your psyche, to make it seem like you have a choice, like they're working on your behalf, right? So you can buy into cashless payments. That's all it is, right? Setting up competition when they're all about the same thing. They're all about bringing forth a cashless system. You know what I mean? Anyways, whatever. Early Warning Services LLC EWS, the bank-owned company that operates the money transfer service Zelle, will be managing the new digital wallet, according to WSJ. The wallet has yet to be named, but will be separate from Zelle and allow shoppers to pay at merchants' online checkouts with linked debit and credit cards. And you know, I just want to go back into covetousness, man, because like, wow, going back 100 years ago, you were allowed to trade with gold and silver. Like, you're still allowed to do that, but they changed it. They took away a gold standard, and now they gave you fiat currency to use, right? And people got used to that, right? And then what came after fiat currency? You had credit cards, debit cards, and then what did they do with those debit and credit cards? They actually took it up a level. Now it's contactless payments, right? And then what came after that? Online banking. You no longer have to go to the bank to do your banking. You can just do it on your smartphone or on your computer. You all got used to that, right? So everything that he's doing to bring forth the system, it took time, and it just shows how much thought and effort he put into it to steal your money, to get you used to it, to get you to like it. And that's where we're at. People like it when really your God-given right is really to hold gold and silver, right? He took that away from you, and you like it now. And that just shows you how covetous this guy is. He's gotten you used to, you know, he's gotten you used to liking to be broke. You know, he's gotten you to the point where you love being broke now. You like having nothing. That's why I think it was Klaus Schwab, he said it. You own nothing and you'll be happy. You know, that's a covetous man. That's messed up. So it says EWS plans to offer the new digital wallet later this year and can handle up to 150 million debit and credit cards. During the initial launch, consumers in good standing with banks will be eligible for the new service. The purpose of the digital wallet is to take on third-party wallet operators such as Apple and PayPal, according to the people familiar with the matter. They said banks are concerned about losing businesses if a digital wallet is not released soon, even though Goldman Sachs consumer unit that manages the Apple Card is a money-losing business. There is a plan to launch a high-yield savings account and buy now, pay later program. The move towards electronic and contactless payments has been gradual, but could soon be thrown into hyperdrive. And you know, gradual is what I just explained, man. When I gave you the example of what happened 100 years ago, you know, you're allowed to trade with gold and silver, and then they gave you paper money. You know what I just told you? That was all gradualism, right? Because, you know, we didn't just get to this point overnight. It took time, right? But it came in the form of gradualism. So when you look at the word gradualism, a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. Biology, the hypothesis that evolution proceeds chiefly by the accumulation of gradual changes. That's right. It's true. It's true. It's true. And you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of how human beings are creatures of habit. You can't just change human beings overnight. They have to adapt to certain things. They have to adapt to their environment. They have to adapt to their surroundings. When something new comes in, they have to adapt to it. It may take time, right? And the elite, they understand that. They know your psyche. They know that human beings are creatures of habits. That's why if they've done these things in intervals. And what do I mean by that? It may have been a 5-year plan where they're going to give you a credit card. After the 5 to 10 years, they're going to step it up a notch. They're going to give you contactless, tap as you go. After the tap and go, then they're going to give you online banking, right? So that's all gradualism. So what we're seeing here didn't happen overnight, right? So what did the definition say? By the accumulation of gradual changes. That's right. It accumulated over time, right? Which this is a half truth. It's a half truth. It's true, but it's a half truth too, because they forget that it's all prophecy at the end of the day. In my, when you filter it through the scriptures. So yeah, man, gradualism. If enough consumers adopt EWS new wallet, it says, but could soon be thrown into hyperdrive if enough consumers adopt EWS in a new wallet. So if a lot of people like the idea of what they're prescribing, and then you know what? The old way of doing things will become obsolete, and we're going to keep this system. We're going to keep this method of doing things, right? And that's what's likely is going to happen. So it says it was during the coronavirus pandemic when the government, Federal Reserve, and corporations urged people to avoid unnecessary physical transactions that increased the push toward a cashless society. Uh-oh. Yeah, do you remember what happened 3 years ago? Oh, you know what? Don't use cash when you go out to when you go out to buy things. Don't use cash. Just use your credit card or use your debit card. Because we don't want to spread germs. We don't want to spread bacteria. Right? We don't want to get sick. Then what came about that? You needed a vaccine passport, which that just paved the way for a social credit system. Right? Yeah, man. It really did push toward a cashless society. It did. The whole pandemic did. It did. And like I said, it's gradualism, and all of this stuff that you're seeing right here in this article, man, it didn't happen overnight. What these banks are doing, it didn't happen overnight. You can thank what they did 100 years ago, and also you can thank the C19 for accelerating this. You can thank that, right? But at the end of the day, who should you really be thanking? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it. Right? Because it will speak, and it shall not lie. Right? So you could thank Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. And he's hastening the day. And when he's hastening the day, that means these prophecies are going to be fulfilled. Beautiful. Right? Recall the pivot toward a cashless society was clear as day. Perhaps the coin shortage during the pandemic was a test run, and anyone who dared mention a looming cashless society was deemed a conspiracy theorist. Isn't that right, Nate? A conspiracy theorist is a nut. These bums are conspiracy theorists. And that's what you said, right? You said. So, hey, those bums, those conspiracy theorists have been saying all these things for decades upon decades. Now it's true. Everything they said came true. So you know what it shows? It shows who the real prophets are. And it shows who's really in the spirit. And it also shows who's not in the spirit. And who's not a prophet. And you, Mr. Nate, the leader of the IUIC, you're not a prophet. And you're not in the spirit. You're not. So you're exposed. So, the prophets have been saying this for years and years. And they've been labeled as idiots. As madmen and conspiracy theorists. And what they've been saying, what they've been bringing out, through the scriptures is now coming to pass. So it says, just remember who is also shaping the world and influencing politicians and corporations away from a cash economy. Oh, and look what they have here. The World Economic Forum, dethroning cash as king. Now digital payments are enabling a shift away from the cash economy. And it's funny they mention that because I think of Justin Trudeau. Because I remember back in, I did a video about this, showing what Klaus Schwab said about Justin Trudeau. He basically said, thanks to leaders like Justin Trudeau, the World Economic Forum is able to penetrate governments and their cabinets, and Canada is one of them. Right? So, yeah, they're influencing politicians and corporations away from a cash economy. And that's what Justin Trudeau did for the last 3 years. He's like, oh, you know what? I like the idea of a digital wallet. Yeah, take the jab. I like that idea. Right? And now that's getting rid of cash. And now you're going into digital payments. So, yeah, now they're shifting away from the cash economy. And, yeah. So it's true. This is on point. It's true. It's true. So let's get a precept. This is James chapter 5, verse 3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. It's talking about the rich man, which is you elites. All right. And yeah, this is a form of your gold and silver being cankered. You bringing in the system, stealing people's money. And you know what? You've heaped treasures for the last days. Right? You think you're going to keep all that gold and silver for yourself? No, you're going to give it back to the Israelites. Right? Because what does the scripture say when you go into Sirach chapter 10, verse 8? Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. That's right. You you stole riches, and how did you get them? You lied. You cheated, and you steal to get those riches. And you killed people. You injured a lot of people, right? Mentally and physically. Right? Unrighteous dealings, man. That's how you got your riches, which was all by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's right. So guess what? Your kingdom is going down, and which kingdom is going to come up after that? Jacob. When you go into 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that falleth. And all your riches that you have stored up over here, all that nice gold, all them precious stones, precious metals, it's gonna be translated onto us. Right? From one people to another. That's right. And that's how you transfer money. You have to give it to them, to give it to those people physically. Right? By the way, you're not just going to give it to us, man. We're going to take it from you. when you go into Daniel chapter 7 verse 18, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Yeah, take it. When we take the kingdom, it means we're going to take your riches, take all the stuff that you stole from us. Because what's mine is not for you to give me. It's for us to take. Alright? Take it back. Starting with Yahushua, he's going to take it back. Take it. Alright, so yeah. Let's go to verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud. That's right. And this is a form of fraud. This is fraud. It's usury. First and foremost, it's a false balance. And it is a usury. It's usury. Not even giving you anything. Right. Yeah. It's fraud, man. Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. That's right. And that's we have cried into the ears of the Lord of armies. Because you've been stealing from us this whole time. Right? And he hears us. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. And you have to lose that, man. That's why you have to pay, man. You lived in pleasures. You've always been rich. And it's to the point now where it's not about money anymore. It's just about you now being worshipped. You want to be worshipped, and you're using money as a way for you to be worshipped, man. You're covetous, man. And you want to take the Lord's spot. You know, you're exalting yourself above the highest of the highest. And you have to pay for that, man. That's why 1 Timothy 6:10 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through the many sorrows. And like I said earlier, man, it's okay to have a lot of money, but it's to the point. It's wrong when you start showing inordinate affection to that money, and that's when it becomes a problem. And then you get worse and worse. You wax worse and worse, man. It's to the point where you don't. The money causes you to get to the point where you want to be worshipped, right? And that's what we're seeing. You know, that inordinate affection of loving money, where it causes you to want to be worshipped, man. That's messed up. That's messed up. All right, so I'm going to close up with Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. So you don't want to take that mark, man. All right, and you know, the mandatory chipping is coming. Right, and I want to go into that word mark. You know, getting that mark is a form of him being your chaperone, him being your parent now. Right? Complete control. Control of every transaction, control of everything that you do. Because it's not just about money. All your information is going to be on that chip. Right? Everything about you is going to be on that chip. Everything about you. And he wants to know everything. That's a God complex. And you know what that proves? He's your parent now. He's taking the place of the Most High. That's what he's telling you. So it's not just about money anymore. Alright? This guy's completely covetous, man. This guy's covetous. Alright, so it says a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the foreheads of the right or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses. If you brand a horse, that means that horse is property. So this is a branding. It's a sign of ownership, or it's a form of ownership, right? So when he gives that to you, it's telling the Lord that, hey man, you know, you're actually owned by the elites. anything carved, sculptured, graven work of idolatrous images. And it's also idolatry, which scriptures goes against idolatry. Right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? Anyways, yeah, that's all I want. So with that, hope this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.